Hi everyone, it's middle of January and it's time to start sowing some seeds. I know some of you have already started sowing, so it's like the season is nearly here. So I'm just going to sow some onions and some leeks. So do something slightly different this year. I'm going to try and do my onions all from seed rather than sets. It's been a long time since I've just relied on onions from seed, so I thought I'll give it a go. And I've got some of these very small cell trays, 48 modules in a small tray. They are really small. First came across these a few years ago when I bought some leeks, and they came in these small little tiny cells, and they were quite easy for planting out. I'm not going to do my leeks in these, so I'm just going to load this up and get it ready for some onion seeds. The onions I'm growing are, which I've never grown before, which is Santero F1. It's supposed to be a really long storing onion, which is what they like. Right, so I'm sowing them. You can sow these right from January through till April, depends on how big you want your onions, so I'm going to try and get as long a season as I can. If you haven't got a greenhouse or a polytunnel or anything like that, just hold off your sowing for a little while until it warms up a little bit. So start off with just a bit of compost. Just got some Grow Sure seed compost with a bit of vermiculite in it, and then load the tray up. They're going to be in here a little while, so I'm going to actually get them to germinate indoors. Once they've germinated, I'll harden them off and they can go outside, which will slow them down a bit, but they'll end up being a sturdier plant. So we'll keep loading it up. Because they're quite small cells, I don't want to overpack them. I'm just going to hit my finger and just lightly tap down each one, just to make sure they've got a good amount of compost in there. You know, and the odd one, I've not said this compost, even though it's supposed to be seed compost, you do get the odd lump in it, you know, which could cause problems for roots. So if you can, you know, get the bigger lumps out, then fine. You can just sow these directly into a tray if you want to, but I just want to avoid the pricking out and everything. If I have to pot them on at all, which I'm hoping I can do. So do that, and then just scoop some of this compost out of the way, and then I'm going to do that. I'm going to put some of my little seed sieve. This is going to be the bit that's going to be in contact with seed, so the less lumps in this bit the better. Get the sieve out of the way, and just wipe that off by hand, and then just move any excess compost out of the way. So I'm doing this indoors in the evening because it's late at night. Because the weather's horrendous outside, it's just nothing but rain all the time. I've been down to the plot with two small raised beds. I've put a bit of compost on them, give it a little bit of time to settle down before I plant stuff out. I've already done my garlic. I've done that in pots. Basically it was a 3-inch pot. Just fill the compost and each clove put into it. It's a lot of faffing. I'd much rather just plant them direct into the ground, but it's just too wet down there at the moment, so I thought I can give them about a month or so in pots, then they'll be okay. Right, so do that, and then I'm going to water it now. So I've got one of these little bottle top waters. Give it a good watering. So don't be too shy of the watering. I'm going to leave that for about half an hour to drain. Right. It still feels like I could do a bit more work, it's quite light still. So I'm just going to let that drain right through. Just put that over here. Right, so while that's drained through, I can do my leeks. This is it's about a 6-inch pot. I think it's a 3-litre pot altogether. It seems a bit, quite big for seeds, but this is what I'm going to sow my leeks in, because they're going to be in it for quite a while. Probably till into, April anyway, at least, until they're a good sort of decent size, almost like pencil size. So you'll get plenty of root growth in these. I'm not going to put loads in. I mean, if I'm going to do some more, I'll do another pot. I might sow some more in another pot in a month or something like that. So I've got a slight successional sowing, but we'll see. I haven't got that much room for everything, so we'll try and do quite a few lots of little things this year. That's the plan anyway, so far. Right, so these leeks are Musselburgh. You can sow these right from now indoors, or you can wait till March to outdoors. They don't go out till April, May, so this is just the same compost as I had in there, but the top inch is the same, but below that I've just mixed some perlite in because makes it more airy. This is just made the seed. Once it's gone through the top sort of inch, it'll be down into the more airy stuff. Obviously these will have to be separated to plant. So nothing too fancy with these really. Onion seeds, leek seeds, all the alum seeds look very familiar. I'll try and hold it up to the camera. There's not a lot of light, but you can see they're quite small. So a good pinch of seeds and just sort of scatter them. I can always, when these come up, I can always thin them out. If they're a little bit clustered up. Like I said, there's a good fair old bit of compost in the bottom of here for them. So they're all in there. I'm just going to get my compost sieve, and the line on the pot, it's about 5 to 10 mil down. So I'm going to get a bit of a layer on top, just so when they do grow they've got that good support and they're not going to topple. Sometimes you sort of see too shallow, as it gets like top heavy it falls. So the important thing is that's been pre-watered, that pot, so it's not like I'm going to have to saturate this top part. This is just going to it'll take some moisture from the compost below. Just tap it, keep checking it, and then once I get about the right amount in, I mean you could water this, but I'd be more reluctant to water it with something that applies a lot of watering on it. I'd probably be more like a mist for that, but let's say it's got plenty of water, been really well soaked down through. The holes in the bottom of the pot, so I can't really I could bottom water it, once they've started to grow and everything, but I won't water these again now until they're up. Because the last thing I want to do is start drowning them. Just make sure I've not got the compost too deep. Give that a tap to it and a little lump there. I'm just going to go around, not pressing it, just tampering it down a bit, just to make sure the seeds have all got good contact. And because I haven't got a lid or anything for this, I'll either put a bag over it, or I'll just put a bit of cling film over it. But I suppose you'd say burp it every now and then to let a bit of air in. Once they've started to come up, they'll be okay. It's just I don't want the top part to dry out too quick. With them starting off indoors, it's quite easy for them to dry out. So that's the leeks done. So I'll put a clear plastic bag over it, or just a bit of cling film. I mean, you could probably put cling film and prick a couple of little holes in it if you like to. But that's all you have to do for leeks, and then they'll grow and get 6 to 8 inches high. Pull the clump apart, because they are pretty hardy, and you can be fairly rough with them, and then dig your holes in the ground in April, May, and then plant them in. So that's the leeks done, simple as that. Right, so I'm going to have a cup of tea and we'll come back with these onions. Right, I've got these. This has had a bit of time now to drain. So I've done three trays altogether, which it's what's that, 140 odd onions. I'm not saying when you use them all, but obviously it's a guarantee every single one's going to germinate. I might even drop 2 per cell, and just nip one out when you go off. It's got a little tiny dibber. Don't know whether you can see that. I'm just going to prick it, little mark here. It says ½ inch, so not quite ½ inch. I'll dip it maybe 10 mil down if that. just somewhere to drop the seed, you know, because, you know, like I said, I don't want them to get top heavy, you know, so I'm just going to go through these, you know, which is not the most joyful job. Bit of a lump in that one. So it's not the easiest way of doing things, but like I say, you know, you can just sow a tray, you know, just broadcast them a bit like how I did with leeks, really, you know, and then prick them out and so forth, so on. But you know, these are nice small trays. They'll go on a windowsill okay, not like the great big bulky ones, and they can, you know, grow for, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks, and then I'll gradually harden them off, and then they can go in the polytunnel then, and then, you know, they should get fairly strong out there, and then I'll harden them off again, ready to go out, probably, you know, late March, because, you know, things will slow down outside. Right, so I've got, that one's done. Right, so altogether I've got three trays. All dibbed out ready. Right, so I'm going to start sowing the seeds. I'm not going to show you me sowing them all, I'll just put some in and then I'll do the last ones and I'll show you what I do at the end of it. Right, I'm just sowing this last row of this tray. It's a bit fiddly. I thought I had 2 packs of these seeds, but I've only got 1, and that's 150 seeds approximately, so we'll soon see, because I've got 146 modules to sow. So I should imagine that somewhere along the line I might run out of seeds. So that's all them sowing that tray. I'll quickly make sure they're all gone down. Yep, they're all down in there. I'll try and zoom the camera in. I don't know if there's much light for you to see. Not really a lot of light, but you can just make out the holes that I've dipped, and there's a seed in each one. So basically I'm just going to get my little sieve, just sieve over the top of that. Zoom back out again. Over the top of that, and then just carefully take off all the excess. Just compost out of the way. And with that, I don't want to absolutely drench them. I've just got a little spray thing here. Just going to give them a lot misting over the top. Not really much, because they've been pre-watered. Do that, and then that's all I'm going to do for my onions this year, and hopefully, you know, they can stay in there long enough to when I'm ready to pull them out, and I can plant them straight in the ground. So, you know, they should get, you know, I'm going to keep them well watered, you know, once they start growing. I might put on a bit of capillary matting, maybe feed them a little bit of liquid seaweed when they get, you know, a good size, just to make sure they grow okay. And then, you know, because you might get a little bit of root bound in there, I don't know, but let's say once they go outside they'll slow down a bit, so hopefully that'll hold it back enough, and for the ground to dry out a little bit. Because I grow in raised beds, they're not too bad, so I ain't got to worry about, you know, any downpours that are going to get really flooded. Right, so that's them onions, which are, now they are Santero. I had a look on the internet and they recommended them for a long storage onion, so that's the main reason I've gone for these. usually I'd but seeds I'd have done like the Bedfordshire Champion and the Alicia Craig ones, but I thought, well, I've got some red onions, but it's a bit, red onions are going to go in next month. I've got my big Kelsey onions, they're up in the loft, they're going to go out probably end of February into the polytunnel to start hardening off, because I'll need a space for tomatoes not next month. So that's the basic video for this week, or this half of January. That's onions and leeks done. Right, thanks for watching, take care, and thank you for all your comments. I do read them, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching, bye bye now.